Cody is out getting a U-Haul right now because we've got 3 days left to get everything packed up and put into a storage unit. We've barely scratched the surface with packing, so wish us luck. Aren't these so cute? I got them at a garage sale. Today is day 1 packing. We're packing up our apartment in Moncton to start traveling full-time again.
Dear Diary.
We originally made this sheet so that we could visually see how much longer we had to stay here during our lease. So we're past this. We're probably like maybe somewhere down here. I haven't shaded it in like a month. This was a fun project. I'm kind of sad that we're throwing it away, but we have to make room for new stuff. Deodorant.
Lemon.
Before I get into the day, I want to share this quickly. I've made a free Google spreadsheet and I've made a lot of videos to help Americans leave the United States. Everything is free, no courses, no paywalls. If you're trying to figure out how to leave and you don't know where to start, you can use me as a resource. Day 1 was mostly about getting started, which honestly can be the hardest part. I'm really grateful and very aware of the privilege it takes to leave the United States. And I'm especially grateful that Canada is where we landed. We've had an apartment here in Moncton for the last 6 months, and it gave us exactly what we needed at the time. Stability, rest, and a place to reset. But we've realized Moncton isn't the place where we want to build a long-term home base. So now we're packing everything up again. Our plan is to spend the next 15 months house sitting, most likely around West Coast Canada. We're feeling really pulled towards Vancouver Island as a long-term home base, and we want to give ourselves the time to feel that out properly. And once my permanent residency comes through, we might also do a couple international trips. Nothing is set in stone, just staying open. We technically gave ourselves a month to prepare for this move. We packed a few boxes, but now we're here and we have 3 days left and we're doing the bulk of the work. It is stressful, but because we don't own very much, it still feels very doable. Heavy, but doable. A lot of today was about setting the tone. Sorting, labeling, figuring out what goes in storage, and what stays accessible. There's a lot of quiet decision making that's happening during a move like this.
We're moving up.
Moving out.
Oh.
What we're keeping, what we're storing, and what we're finally ready to let go of. There's also emotion tied up in packing, even when you're making the right choice. It's the in-between phase, not settled, but not gone yet. By the end of the day, the apartment was messier than when we started, but we had momentum. And really, that mattered more than the progress today. Because day 1 was just the beginning, and tomorrow is going to be heavier.
Hey.
Shit, this stuff's in the washer. Look at my Dundee trophy. It's day 2 of moving. We actually got a lot done today. It really didn't feel that way while we were in it, but looking back, we did accomplish a lot.
The steps I have to take to avoid laundry detergent, like bounce sheets, in the dryer vents.
We tried to be intentional and focus on big items first, plus a few boxes. We just wanted to make the biggest dent possible. We have 2 suitcases.
Suitcase.
I was thinking we need to bring the step ladder too so that we can put a box, like, because it's tall in the unit.
Up to you. That's an option.
Whatever. Before anything else, we had to make a Home Depot run. We needed more storage containers, more boxes, and more moving blankets. Moves always seem to require more supplies than you think. The price difference still blows my mind. Home Depot wanted $35 for a single moving blanket, while Canadian Tire sells them for around $15. Same idea, very different price. So that was a quick lesson learned. After that, the rest of the day revolved around storage unit runs. We ended up doing 2 full trips, completely packed each time. Loading, unloading, organizing, and trying to be strategic so that we wouldn't have to move the same things twice. We also managed to pack, move, and put everything away that had been sitting in our basement storage. That was a huge win. That included our e-bikes and all of the gear that goes along with them. Getting those out of the apartment made the space feel noticeably lighter, both physically and mentally.
I had a dream and pulled a hangnail, and then my nerves all came out with it.
Sheets and whatever clothes day of we need to stuff in here. I just want to pause and say how much we love the storage unit that we got. It's climate controlled. We can back like a really big U-Haul truck into the Bay Area, and then they even provide free pallets, and there's lots of tools and things that help you move everything in. That setup alone made this whole process less stressful than it could have been. Somewhere in between all of that, we also tackled recycling. We took everything out thinking we were being responsible and efficient, only to find out that a lot of the glass isn't recyclable here, so that turned into another pivot. Another thing to figure out when we already felt maxed out. By the end of the day, most of the items that were left were just a handful of things that needed to be brought back upstairs. And of course, when we got back, the elevator wasn't working.
It's a bad day for the elevator to be down.
So we finished the day carrying things up 4 flights of stairs. I'm just grateful that didn't happen in the beginning of the day. I'm really hoping the elevator will be working tomorrow because we still have a lot of big items to move, and doing that on stairs would not be so great. But overall, day 2 is what we needed it to be. It was exhausting but productive. We had a lot of physical work, a lot of logistics, and a lot of small decisions that added up. Day 2 was about heavy lifting and clearing space, and tomorrow, well, that's going to be the hardest one. It's day 3 of packing everything. We woke up at 6 in the morning to get as early of a start as possible. We got less than 12 hours. First things first is I need to make a frittata that we can eat not only today but tomorrow when we're traveling. And then I'm gonna make some banana bread with almond flour because apparently that's more dense, has protein, and will keep us fuller longer.
I'm stripped in the bed now. I already did the duvet, but we're gonna take these sheets with us. And then I gotta stand the bed up because we've been sleeping on the floor.
So even though cooking feels like the last thing you should be doing on a moving day, it really wasn't an option for us. That alone took a huge chunk of time. Cooking, cooling everything, packing it properly, cleaning as we went. The morning disappeared really fast. After that, we had to wrap up our bed. We learned that memory foam mattresses are supposed to be stored flat on an even surface, but that wasn't going to be an option for us, so we did the best that we could. We wrapped it in a plastic liner first, and then we added a protective bag on top, just hoping it would be enough to get it through storage safely.
I actually think I put too much air in, but it's easier to take it out than just to put it in, so.
Then we packed up everything we could give to Cody's dad, perishables from the fridge and cabinets, leftover and unopened food,
Trying to put a king-size mattress on a twin is just not possible, so.
and some newer items that we really didn't use while we were living here. I'm so proud of how much easier it was to let go of things this time. That part didn't feel as heavy as it used to. What did feel heavy was realizing how badly we underestimated this day. The kitchen alone probably should have had 2 full days to itself. Cabinets, drawers, food, cleaning, sorting, it just kept going. Every time we thought we were close, there was always something else that we needed to handle. By the afternoon, everything felt behind. We really couldn't catch up. I forgot to show you the finished frittata, quiche, whatever it is, but it's eggs, spinach, and a layer of potatoes, but it looks like it all just kind of melded together. It's pretty good. I already had a couple bites.
It is an absolute disaster in here, and it's time to make some banana bread.
Around 5 in the evening, I started to feel really nauseated and couldn't stand upright anymore. I'm still recovering from a foot injury, and during that foot injury, I haven't been able to move around much, so this day was just a huge push for me in general. Even though there was so much left to do, I knew that my body couldn't stand up straight anymore, so I did rest for about 90 minutes. I didn't go to sleep, but I did rest long enough so that I could get one final push in. During that rest, Cody kept pushing forward, but I really did have to stop. After those 90 minutes of rest, I got back up with a small final push on the big items. We still had our king-size bed, a bunch of boxes, and the dining room table left. It was everything that was heavy, awkward, and exhausting on the last day. But when we finished it, we were done. But after that, I was done. I had to completely stop for the night, but Cody did keep going. He pushed through until 11 p.m. that night, finishing what he could on his own, and even at the end, we weren't actually finished. We had to be up at 2 in the morning because we had a 5 a.m. flight. We ended up getting about a 2-hour nap before waking up again to finish the rest. One last load to the storage unit, dropping off the U-Haul, and then Cody's dad picking us up and driving us to the airport for our 5 a.m. flight. We didn't get to do a deep clean on the apartment like we wanted to, but we kept the apartment in really good shape, and the landlord was really kind about it and said we were completely fine. There wasn't a clean ending to this day. There was no relief moment, no celebration. It was just exhaustion, but we did make it through. 3 days of packing, no buffer days, straight into travel. And that's where this chapter actually ends. Stay tuned for our videos coming up of us house sitting all around Vancouver Island in Canada.
Eventually there will be an unmarked bag for the table.
And when we eventually go to find out, the screws for the table are in the box with the trampoline. Now we know. When you inevitably see this, and I know you will, you told me so. You told me so. This was gonna be brutal. And it was. It was. Hey, life right now.